This is my Real Housewives of Atlanta recap, and John will not be joining us tonight. He decided that I have the plague, and he doesn't want to catch it. So it's called Real Housewives of Atlanta. Chocolate does a body good, and not a lot happens. I think we've been discussing this in the comments, and I think, you know, naturally the seasons in Housewives have a tendency to kind of have, you know, usually people start off somewhat okay, and then you have a bunch of fights, and usually you end the season somewhat okay. Not good, mind you, but there's a lot of times, a lot of seasons, we get to a point where you kind of don't like anyone, and I'm kind of at that point in the season. But I like everyone. I don't hate anyone. I don't really have anything nice to say about Kenya, but everyone's kind of getting on my nerves, and I'm hoping they start kind of patching things up soon because there's a lot of dumb fights going on. So we catch up with Phaedra, who's now at home. Is that her full-time assistant? So she's like she's a single mom, which absolutely is difficult, but I'm pretty sure if you're a single mom with full-time help, it's a little bit easier than what most single moms go through. But, you know, I feel for her, and she's, you know, clearly really upset. And this is the thing, is that this is not a criticism of her, but after what she's gone through, I have a feeling that she's a little on edge. And, you know, my friends and I have this theory that there are times when the biggest part of valor is to, like, back off, which is when someone is right on the edge. Like, if you think someone's genuinely crazy or just pushed to their limits, you back off, because that's when people snap. So I kind of feel like Phaedra's getting to that point, and I personally would not mess with her, okay? I probably wouldn't mess with most of the people on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think most of them would throw a punch. Not Cynthia. Cynthia wouldn't. I don't know. You know, I don't know about all of this. But anyway, I'm babbling because I'm not feeling well. Kandi and Todd, she suggests they go to counseling. I have to say, I like Kandi a lot. She's one of my favorite of them. But her relationship with Todd is really hard to get behind. You know, she doesn't really stand by her man very well. She lets her... none of my friends, I've never had a friend make a negative comment about John, which is my husband. And I'm pretty sure that would be a line that if they did, that would be like a, you know, that's an off-limits thing. And, you know, she's got her employees doing it. And I don't think Todd's perfect by any means, but... he puts up with a lot, and so it's kind of hard for me to get behind this whole, you know, this whole, like, they have this big marriage problem. You know, so I like Kandi a lot, but then I can't really get behind her. Natalie, Cynthia, and Kenya meet up, where Cynthia tells them all about this affair. Here's the deal. It could be true. I'm not saying that Phaedra would never do this, and I have concrete proof that she would never have an affair. I don't know. But when we are basing the whole thing off of Apollo, and I saw it with my own two eyes. Well, you saw pictures. We all know how to fake. You can enter in. I could enter in Apollo's name right now, and I could show you a text conversation. 100% fake. I think you could buy apps to fake them. I mean, it's not that hard. So, and especially from a guy who's, one, going to jail for fraud, and two, has faked a text conversation in the past, I just don't carry a lot of credence. And Peter is so shady to get in the middle of this, and Cynthia is just totally out of her league. Sometimes I feel like Cynthia was like, I just think she's just, I haven't figured out a way to describe her, but she's sort of like, I feel like she's running in a different, either social circle or cultural circle or something, because she always seems out of place. Everybody else seems to kind of speak the same language, and she's always over there like going, excuse me, I don't understand what's going on. Or, you know, like she wants to bring up, so she just brings up this thing, and then Kenya's bawling about how for years she's suffered so because of these allegations, and she hasn't suffered because of them. It's ridiculous. People don't like her because they don't like her. Cynthia didn't like her because she was rude when she came to her modeling place and was rude to the people there. She got into a Porsche, had nothing to do with the text. Phaedra and her, it had little to do with the text. It had a heck of a lot more to do with the workout video. I mean, all of these things, like, yes, that was part of it, and they were wrong about it. She did not send those text messages. But she did, like, she's always touching Apollo. She was always trying to, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that if we took this totally out of the equation, she would not have been everyone's best friends. So to make it this huge, big, sobbing deal, I just, you know, whatever. Candy and Phaedra catch up, and I guess we're going to something where there's going to be some big Phaedra-Candy problem. I'm sorry, I know what Phaedra went through was incredibly difficult, and you should cut her a lot of slack on that, but it doesn't mean that Candy can stop her life. She had her own stuff going on. So, and that just might be me being a bad friend. So maybe that's it. Anyway, Candy has everyone to dinner, and then Cynthia like wants to bring up the affair, but she's too scared to, which is really bizarre. So she just kind of goes, and then brings it up for no reason. And I don't believe the allegation that Kenya said that, you know, Phaedra wouldn't have gotten upset. I'm pretty sure that Phaedra is pretty close to snapping. I think anything would have pushed her, true or false. Like I'm saying, it could be true. The Apollo saying is true just doesn't convince me any more than anything else would. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, so they all get mad and they're on the parking lot. And apparently Candy didn't get up fast enough. I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm just not. So, I don't, you know, Portia's in every episode. I don't get why she was, you know, I do kind of think that that might have been a punishment. Andy said it wasn't a punishment. She wasn't being fired. She wasn't being removed from the show, but, which is angering because no one else on all these other fights have gotten in trouble. So we'll have to see. We got a whole bunch of new shows coming up on Bravo. We have Real Housewives of Melbourne. We have Southern Charms coming back for season 2. We have Shaws of Sunset. I am debating recapping. I think I can do one of them. Do you have an opinion on which one you will be watching? Okay, catch you guys later.